Straight ahead on News 4 Brockport, the BSG election has been turned on its head. Find out what happened with the candidates and who's running in their place.
Also, Donald Trump biographer David Key Johnston treated Brockport students to a slice of his knowledge about the president. We'll tell you what Johnston has learned about number 45.
And Brockport students are making a difference when it comes to sexual violence. Find out what you can do to help spread awareness. All this and more coming up. News 4 Brockport starts right now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Hannah Mao.
And I'm Terrence. We begin tonight with an amendment to the electoral process introduced by Election Commissioner Emma Charlton-Klein to avoid a potential crisis after all candidates for key BSG positions dropped out of the race. Reporter Johnny Nixon has the story.
The Brockport student government meeting held this past Friday was heavily attended by students after an announcement was made that all candidates for BSG president, vice president, and treasurer positions had dropped out of the race. This could have potentially left these positions vacant over the summer and for the start of the upcoming academic year. Fortunately, the Senate was able to pass a bill that proposed a special election to be held before the end of the spring semester.
You're still going to have your president, vice president, and treasurer in by the fall, and they'll be working on things over the summer, so they can continue hiring, which is what the clubs need. They need their staffing to get things done.
Chilson Klein, who drafted the bill titled L2118, says this not only allows for this special election, but allows for future special elections should this ever happen again.
We accelerated the timeline, and we made sure that with this amendment to our election guidelines, that if this situation ever arises, and hopefully it doesn't, that there will be a way to fix it.
There was some concern over whether clubs operating under BSG budgets could receive funding if BSG operations were stalled. However, BSG President Elijah Madison stated that fears regarding the club budgets were overstated and had some reassuring words.
If there was no one, if this legislation failed and there was no one for the summer or anything like that, it wouldn't automatically mean no one gets a budget. The college wouldn't let that happen administratively on the VP side, and we wouldn't let it happen. There would be logistical conflicts and trying to iron all that out, but it wouldn't just automatically just get rid of clubs and their budgets.
So far, the candidates have only cited personal reasons as an explanation for dropping out right before the debates were to take place. The new bill has pushed the special election date to the end of the semester, with petitions going out Thursday, April 5th.
Martin Luther King Jr. is being honored on campus through the spread of his message. It's been 50 years since Dr. King's death. Brockport invites a speaker here each year for the annual Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Lecture. This year's speaker was award-winning journalist Dr. Mark Lamont Hill. Dr. Hill is a BET News host, a CNN political commentator, and a professor at Temple University. He says carrying on Dr. King's legacy is important, but there's more to it than meets the eye. He says it's crucial to recognize not only Dr. King, but the many others that we haven't heard of who have been spreading his message without the credit. Dr. Hill recommends for students to find a cause they're passionate about and get involved with it. He also held a question and answer session after the lecture.
Brockport students recently got to pick the brain of a Trump expert. The Brockport chapter of the Society of Professional Journalists brought David Key Johnston to campus. Johnston is an investigative journalist and the author of The Making of Donald Trump and It's Even Worse Than You Think, What the Trump Administration is Doing to America. Johnston has spent his life looking into everything about Trump, both before and after he was elected as president. Johnston is vocal about the fact that he is a registered Republican, but he's also vocal with his criticisms of Trump.
It's our government. We need to act like owners. We need to recognize that Donald is our employee. He's actually our subordinate. He works for us. We don't work for him. I believe the most important election is this fall. And that we need to have really major change. And as soon as we get into Congress, we need to change the campaign finance system, because that's at the bottom of all the things that are wrong. Citizenship is not free. Liberty is not free. And if we want our liberties to endure, you have to say, you know what, instead of hanging out and playing video games at a party, or being college students doing the things college students are known to do, I'm going to put some time into making the country a better place. It's your choice. You either want to be free or you don't give a damn.
So Terrence, I was actually lucky enough to make this talk, and it was quite fascinating. Were you able to go?
That's good. I wasn't, but I heard that there was going to be a lot of insight, and definitely, speaking from him, especially pre and post election,
Oh, yes.
he has a great overall outlook on what's going on. So definitely the person to ask questions about.
Oh yes, definitely a lot of questions. Brockport's RCS students displayed their work for all at this year's Students Art Exhibition. This year's show was a tough one to get into. Only 30% of submitted work got in. This specific exhibition is an opportunity for students across all areas of art to show off what they've been working on in class and in their free time. There's also an award ceremony each year to honor the students for their artwork.
Mental health and suicide can be difficult topics to talk about, but students and staff at Brockport are changing that. Prevention and Outreach Services and Residential Life teamed up to hold Fresh Check Day on Tuesday. They were there promoting different resources on campus, such as counseling services. There were also tables to inform students about the different aspects of mental health, like alcohol and drugs, self-care, and addressing the mental health stigma. The event was held in the ballroom and for a significant purpose. Organizers say they wanted it to be a big event so no one felt alone or felt awkward going to it. There was also a meditation room for people to go in and relax. The goal of the event was to express the reasons to be here and show students how to get help.
April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and the SUNY Brockport community is bringing hope to victims. The Center for Select Respect is partnering with Restore Sexual Assault Services to promote Letters for Hope. Anyone can write a letter to a survivor of sexual assault. The letters will be displayed sometime during the month of April. Colleen Holcomb is a coordinator for the Center of Select Respect and says that even a few can go a long way.
Sexual violence is it's a challenging topic to talk about. It's something that's deeply personal to anybody who's experienced it. So doing programs like Letters of Hope or any of the events that we're doing within Sexual Assault Awareness Month really helps to break down some of those barriers of having those conversations and gives survivors and people who've been impacted by sexual violence a platform to share their voice and feel as if they are connected to the community and not as isolated as they might feel after going through an experience.
Restore Sexual Assault Services partners with 9 colleges in the Rochester area, each taking on Letters for Hope. For its second year, Letters for Hope is expanding. Brockport student government is taking part by hosting events where anyone can come to write a letter.
We wanted to show survivors that there is support out there because sexual violence is such a prevalent issue in our society that we wanted people to know that there is people who support them, and to show that there's different college communities that have the sense of support.
History of the hashtag is also an extension of Letters for Hope in honor of the Me Too movement. To write a letter, you can attend the BSG event on April 9th in the main Union Lounge. Go to room B124 in the Student Union or email Colleen Holcomb.
In light of a recent tragedy at a fellow SUNY school, Brockport is showing their solidarity. The Center for Select Respect is asking for students to join together during this time.
Part of the reason why it's so important to talk about sexual violence prevention and dating violence prevention is that a lot of college students face these issues, concerns, and situations. One of the most recent experiences that we can attest to is on March 9th, a nursing student at Binghamton lost her life as an event of power-based personal violence. She was killed by another student on campus, and we are creating a banner of support to send to Binghamton.
The banner says Brockport stands with Binghamton with a tree made of handprints in the middle. The Center of Select Respect is asking anyone interested to come and add their handprint or fingerprint to the tree. To add your print, you can go visit the Center for Select Respect in room B124 of the Student Union.
Stars are being made here, right at Brockport. This year's spring musical is Urinetown. The actors and crew members have been working hard for months to make this show the best it can be. Here's a closer look at the making of Urinetown.
And my character is Little Sally. So basically my character is a child and she gains realization of how bad Urinetown actually is throughout the show. So at first she's really innocent and she's just like, oh, this is the normal way of life, paying to pee. But then after a while she realizes that it's a horrible way to live.
What Urinetown means to Bobby Strong. Urinetown's a lie, a means to keep the poor in check until the day they die.
Urinetown to Officer Lockstock. I'm the narrator. For him as a character, he believes that what he's doing is for the good of the community, even though it is a harsh and brutal way of enforcing the law. But to him, it's seen as what the only way to make it healthy for everyone in the community.
It's been very exciting to see all different students from across the campus, all different majors, working together.
My favorite part of being a choreographer is being able to push people to achieve new goals and also showing everybody that anybody can dance. You just have to put yourself out there and try your best.
These kids are incredibly talented, for one. They are devoted, they are creative, they work very hard. It's an inspiration that they have so much on their plates, but they take the time to put so much energy into making this great. And it's just a joy to work with mature, responsible students who have great voices. You're going to love the chorals in this show and the solos.
You can see Urinetown beginning April 20th in the Tower of Fine Arts Main Stage Theater. You can also find the promo on talenttv.org. Well, I feel like this is going to be a really great play. What do you think, Terrence?
It is going to be a good one. Actually, I have class in Tower, so sometimes I kind of pass by, a little bit of the rehearsals, and I hear the wonderful notes, and I'm seeing, a little jazz hand or here or two of there. So I'm really excited to see the production. I can't wait.
That's great. I'm with you there.
Definitely.
Well, that's all the time we have for News 4 Brockport. I'm Hannah Mao.
And I'm Terrence Dickey. We'll see you next time.